threw the ball very well. Um, no surprise. I think the short stuff that he threw was really good. Threw some really nice deep balls. I was really excited about how he threw the intermediate balls. Had several deep crossing routes that were scripted into the workout, and threw those with conviction. Led the guys well. Did a lot of different backfield actions, footwork, gun, under center, play actions. Look comfortable, smooth. Those workouts are difficult. It's told somebody there. It's not like these guys have been sitting there working together for the past few months to get ready for this. I mean, they train, get ready to combine. A lot of these guys are off at different sites all over the country. Then they come together here and work for about 2 days on this, and then you go put it on display. And so I thought Jalen and the receivers all did a nice job.
We both said that he looked improved, that his mechanics looked better, the release looked smoother, the ball was tighter. Did you see all that as well?
Um, yeah, no, I mean, he threw it well. Would I say it wasn't surprising to me that he threw a lot different than he did for us? I don't think so. I mean, I just think he threw it well. I thought it was a good, clean day and well scripted workout, and he just continues to get better and better as a player, and so he'll continue to take steps.
Marcellus been out for part of the day, had a bad injury, and he stayed around here, kind of worked by himself to train to get to this point. Can you kind of touch on how remarkable that is to get and then perform the way he did today?
Yeah, really excited for him. It was a devastating injury, when that happened, and he got a couple opportunities with a few teams last year, and did some really good things, and to come back in great shape, tested off the charts. He's always been a strong, explosive guy. Always jumped well. His numbers were eye popping like they always are, and then did a really nice job in the position drills. Those routes were sharp, caught the ball well. Yeah, you're happy for him. I mean, just a kid that had some adversity and hasn't given up on it, and he's put himself in good position to get another great opportunity.
I mean, coaches, they can look at film, they can watch games of guys. So when they talk to you, do they talk more about the guy, the individual, or do they still have questions about, the football player?
It's pretty. It covers all of it. Some teams are different. We give all the scouts, coaches, personnel, and attendants a pretty detailed description of each guy in person. Give them the opportunity to ask us questions, and then there's one-on-one conversations that go on, throughout all parts of the year. But yeah, so, some are different. There's certainly questions about what they're like behind the scenes as they try to get a feel for that, whether it's in the meeting room, off the field, in the classroom. A lot of times wanting to learn about how these guys process. A lot of times they can see the strengths as well. A lot of questions are about their weaknesses, how much they've improved on those. And so no, they're fun conversations to have, and it's like we tell our players all the time, we're going to be honest with them, so give us a lot of good things to say.
When Bob and Smitty were doing this every year, the scouts would come in, the GMs would come in and say, this is the best run in the country. A lot of pressure to keep that up. Have you felt that as well? Not the pressure part, but just the level of excellence for Pro Day and inviting all these guys in and doing that thing right?
Yeah, no, it's important to us. It's a chance to showcase our program. Most importantly, we want to put on a great Pro Day for our seniors and our guys that have left and have meant so much to this program. It's important to us that they know that their school's Pro Day is going to be the very best one. So we've continued to get great feedback on it. We continue to try to find ways to make it better. We've added a few things over the last few years that have received great feedback, and we've got one of the elite facilities in the country to house it in.
What does it mean to have kind of some of the other guys, some of the pro players come back here and be a part of the event?
It tells you about the brotherhood, for a guy like Kyler didn't have anything else up here other than just to come up here and support his guys. I mean, I think it's really cool. A lot of those guys were here today. But it speaks to what this place is about, the tradition. When those guys were going through their own pro days, they had guys that came back and supported them, and they knew how much it meant. And so awesome for them to come back, to be around not only pro day, but our spring practices, get around our current team as well. So we always appreciate those guys. We don't take that for granted because it's not like that everywhere else.
What do people they watch, like for instance Baltimore? They got a lot of Oklahoma players. What do they? Is it something about how you coach them, the program? What certain pro teams, I guess, like certain.
Yeah, there's definitely some. There can be ties as far as fit, as far as I think as simple as they trust the feedback that they're getting from a school. You know, maybe they've had a history where they drafted a player and the coaches or the school's feedback was right on point and they felt like it was honest and accurate. And so when they've got something they feel like they can go on, you see teams that can act on that. And then I don't think there's a team out there that doesn't want to draft winners. They want to draft guys that have, played in championship games, won championship games, been on the biggest stage, and this place obviously does that and does that consistently.
Lee Morris grew up an Oklahoma fan, walked on, and earned his stripes. Now he had one of the better performances today across the board. Can you kind of talk about just his overall growth in the program to get to this day?
Yeah, as proud of him as anybody. And like you said, starting as a walk-on, kind of built his way up from special teams player to a reserve receiver, then to second-string receiver, then a starting receiver. Earned a scholarship, did so many great things here, and he caught a lot of people's eyes. There's no question in our mind that he was going to test well, and he did. He's always been a guy that's been able to put up numbers. He's always been a guy that's been very, very good in the weight room. And so I think teams are really impressed with his versatility, the fact that he played on all four of the major special teams while he was here, which is such a huge factor with the roster limitations in that league. And then all the experience and big game catches that he had. So he's on a lot of people's radar. Guys like him are extremely valuable.
Did he surprise you a little bit with his explosiveness today?
Lee? No, we've actually tested him a shade faster and seen him jump a shade higher than what he did today. I mean, he tested well, but I mean, I'm not surprised at all. He's always been very strong in those areas.
You were able to find use of him here at Oklahoma, even though he's sort of that tweener, tight end receiver. How do you foresee him fitting in the NFL?
He's definitely a receiver. I think the question just is will he play more in the slot or play more outside? But again, somebody's going to look at him and say, Ame can get a really good football player and save roster spots immediately because of all the things he does well. Blocker, he's played inside, he's played outside, he's all the different special teams that he's done and been a major contributor on. So you just in that league cannot put a price tag on that. And then on top of it, the character, the consistency, never missing games, never missing practice. I mean, never hurt. I mean, like he makes sense for that league, and he deserves a ton of credit for that.
Parnell today, I don't know if I heard him say a word, and maybe the first time, within an event of something you haven't heard him talking. How did you see his focus today? It seemed like he felt like it was pretty.
Yeah, he was locked in. I mean, this one was important for him. Obviously, with not getting invited to the combine, this day was very, very important to him, and I thought he performed very well. It's tested well, was done well in his interviews, and on-the-field drills were very sharp. So, I mean, he had an elite year. I mean, there's no question about it. I mean, he was one of the best corners in the country last year, and just put together a really complete season. Did it a lot against you see all these receivers, getting ready to get drafted in these high places, and there's a lot of tape of him, whether it's covering CD and our guys here, covering the guys from LSU. I mean, Mims, all the different guys in this league that were very, very good players. There's some really, really good tape of how he matches up. And so proud of him, really proud of his journey, his maturity, how he grew this last season, and he's put himself in a really nice position.
Corner testing the numbers become somewhat crucial when you talk about cone drill, the shuttle, the 40 and stuff like that. But how much is that used in your experience when it comes to drafting in regards to, I guess, maybe being able to turn your hips and stuff like that? Like, how much emphasis do scouts put on it that you've noticed, one against the other?
Yeah, I think every team's formula is a little bit different. Everybody's got a belief system. I mean, there's some teams that place total value on that. I mean, a great example is there's a lot of stretches of years there where you could just bet that the receiver that ran the very fastest was going to get drafted by Al Davis and the Raiders. It was going to happen. And I mean, some teams place not as much. Some others, and I think a lot of it comes from the one-on-one meetings, not necessarily the stuff you see at a combine or a pro day when the media's there, but the one-on-one workouts, the meetings, those guys attending practices and games over the years. I mean, they just build files on these guys, and so you hope you do enough to catch somebody's eye. And if one team, places more value on this or that, then another team's going to do it a totally different way. And so, you obviously want to do as well as you can, keep as many lines in the water as you can, and then you give yourself the most options possible.
I guess on the flip side, the quarterback fit, most people talk about the talent, the arm strength, the accuracy, but how much should they put where they're fit as far as drafting and then the talent? I mean, because there's two dynamics.
Yeah, there is. No, probably more fit for that position than any. Just of, how critical it is, how unique it is to the game, how different people use that position. I mean, you compare like a corner. Yeah, there's going to be some small intricacies within systems, but most people, it's going to be a set of skills is going to translate to most teams. Where quarterbacks are just such a wide range of skill sets, offenses, all that. Especially with offenses in that league really starting to, develop and evolve even more. So no, it definitely is about fit, and that's why these one-on-one meetings that these guys have been having and will continue to have in the next several weeks are so important.
Can you talk about Nick Basquin? I think you both showed up at the same year.
Yeah. No, it is. That's what's telling all the personnel this morning. I mean, just mentally to come back from 2 Achilles. I know it's nothing new for us in here that have been around him, followed his story, and been a part of it, but just the mental toughness it takes just to come back from that and then to produce the way he has. Really become a complete player, another player like Lee that really excelled on special teams, and I think will be a huge factor for him going forward. And then you got to believe his best ball's ahead of him as he continues to get further and further away from those injuries and kind of find the best version of himself. So awesome to see where he came from, and here he is working out in front of the entire professional football world here today and doing a great job of it.
Jalen came here, he learned your offense, he learned a few at Alabama. I mean, obviously picks things up pretty quick.
Yeah, no, I think that's intriguing. I mean, the NFL is not a very patient league, and so they always look for opportunities in your career where you've had a chance to make a mark early, and how long is it taking you to do that, and so that'll certainly be a feather in Jalen's cap.
Talk to Kenneth for a second. He said, I mean, obviously he wants to get drafted for him, for his family, all of that, but he said it would be kind of nice to leave the party and get to the defensive staff, first-round pick, maybe a couple high-round picks on the defensive side. How important is something like that moving forward?
It is important. It's very important because it's another, true illustration of where we thought this thing could head defensively and where we think it's headed. I mean, you take, two guys. I mean, you take, like Kenneth and Neville, and even Parnell. You take those 3 guys right there. I mean, you're talking about a guy with Kenneth was maybe a second-team all-conference guy the year before. I mean, Neville was probably an honorable mention, maybe a third team. Parnell probably wasn't anything, and now all of a sudden you're talking about guys that had elite years that are, at the top of their classes at the respective positions, and that change happened in just a matter of months. Now, those guys, their commitment to it is obviously the biggest factor, but the job that Coach Grinch, our staff, have done in such a short amount of time is a factor too. And the exciting thing for our young players, our recruits is, if they can make that much of a difference in a few months with Kenneth Murray, Neville Gallimore, Parnell Motley, what does it look like for me for 2, 3, 4 years? And that's kind of been the mindset, and this is just further proof that's not just a dream, kind of way out there. It's happening right in front of us right now.
Just a couple more, if there are any.
Lincoln, the question has been asked to Jalen. I guess I just saw it at the combine about would he consider playing another position? What does that sound when you hear something like that about a guy like Jalen playing another position other than quarterback?
I think everybody's going to do their due diligence. Some people probably just feel compelled to ask it, to do their part. I've spoken with a lot of teams about him, and I've not had one question about it. So I don't. Not saying it couldn't happen. I mean, who knows? I mean, you just never know who you're going to get drafted by and how things are going to play out. But I think Jalen's going to be a quarterback, and I think 99% of the teams, if not all 100% of the teams that are interested in him, are to be a quarterback, and that's it.
CD had such a great career here, and I know you've been around a lot of great receivers, but what does he do maybe differently than other guys? Where does he sort of fall among the great players you've been around?
He's one of the more versatile ones that we've had from a route running perspective. As he's been able just to do a lot of different things. You haven't really felt limited in any way with him, especially these last couple of years. And then I would say the combination of elite feel for space, for setting people up, getting separation on routes, and then also kind of that same feel of when he gets the ball in his hands of setting people up, combined with the body physically that he's been able to build here. He's really made himself really exceptional after the catch. I mean, he really has. And so when you combine the versatility with just kind of game-breaking explosiveness with the ball, the strength to run through arm tackles, able to, you put that in one package, it's pretty good.